Minnesota Vikings are looking to avoid an 0-3 start to the 2020 season, and to do that, they're going to have to beat the Tennessee Titans this upcoming Sunday. We'll go ahead and first start with their defense, the Titans' defense. Their defensive line hasn't really been all that impressive. The pass rush, even with Jadeveon Clowney, hasn't really been there. Now, Jadeveon Clowney, he's still very talented, and he can line up on both sides. So if he lines up on left end against our right tackle, Brian O'Neill, I'm good with it. If he lines up on right end and matches up against either Riley Reef, who was listed as a limited participant in Wednesday's practice for the Vikings with an ankle injury, or if he doesn't play and you have Rashad Hill, he can still cause problems. And also, speaking of their pass rush, very likely, at least he was listed as a full participant for the Titans in their practice on Wednesday. Vic Beasley, very likely to make his Titans debut against the Vikings on Sunday. So the pass rush is going to be a lot better if he's on the football field. Now, against the run, the Tennessee Titans are 10th worst. So we are a running team, and if that's the case, this is the opportunity to run the ball down their throats with Dalvin Cook / Alexander Mattison. So you got to be sharp with that. Their secondary has playmakers. Now, against the pass, the Titans are 11th worst against the pass. Now, some of that can be attributed to the lack of a pass rush, but they still have Malcolm Butler. They still have Kevin Byard, who I think low-key one of the best safeties in the league. I don't think he gets talked about enough, just how talented he is. If there's miscommunication from this Vikings passing game, it can be deadly up against this Titans secondary. Now we get to their offense. Ryan Tannehill, oh my God, someone that I severely underestimated based on his early days with the Miami Dolphins. And a good buddy of mine who's a Dolphins fan, he said, listen, bro, I'm telling you something right now. He dealt with injuries, so that derailed his career to start a little bit. But also, if we did him no favors, give him the right offensive line, which the Titans have, give him playmakers, which the Titans also have, he can be legit. So far in these first two games, he's 9th in completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He sells the play action with Derrick Henry very, very well. Ryan Tannehill has been super, super sharp. Their playmakers, whether A.J. Brown plays or not, doesn't matter. Now, he was listed as a DNP for the Titans practice on Wednesday, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Jonnu Smith, also listed as DNP. If he plays, this secondary is in trouble because I think so far through the first two games of this young 2020 season, I think we're going to start to see a wave of new tight ends become household names. Darren Waller with the Raiders is one of them. Jonnu Smith is the other. Jonnu Smith reminds me of, and Vikings fans, you'll remember this name, Visanthe Shiancoe. Built like a truck, just like a load of bricks, but he moves much faster and he's much more agile, much more athletic than he actually looks. This dude plays like a basketball player. He can leap up in the air, super physical. Once he gets his hands on the ball, it doesn't matter whether you have a hand as a defender on his arm or try to break it up. He's so strong and he'll bring it in. This dude is going to be a problem. Also, they have Corey Davis, Adam Humphries. They have playmakers. So the secondary, you have to play tight because the Titans are one of those teams where they melt the clock and they're not like a high octane, let's no huddle offense. They just, clock keeps going. They move up to the line of scrimmage, first down. And it's so just debilitating to the mindset of the opposing defense. And we haven't even got to the Shaquille O'Neal of running backs, Derrick Henry. We know what time it is. The defensive line, the defensive tackles have to man the fuck up. Speaking of defensive tackles, Mike Zimmer. The amount of times I talked about a couple of podcasts ago how they come up with excuses for players that don't do anything. Mike Zimmer said about Shamar Stephen, who has been awful, quote, Shamar Stephen has done a good job. We've got to get the other tackles playing better. Really? Shamar Stephen has been playing well? All right, man. I don't even know what to say. Shamar Stephen is making like $5 million to do nothing, bro. If the D-line is soft again, we are looking at a long day because Derrick Henry is basically like an extra offensive lineman running through the middle of the defensive line, kind of like Chris Berman with this. It's going to be a long day. So secondary has to be tight. The defensive line has to be tight. And you're going up against a very physical Tennessee Titans offensive line. And for what it's worth, before the season started, when I thought the Vikings were going to be a legit team that would go 10-6, when I thought that the Minnesota Vikings would be a good team, I had them losing this game against the Titans anyway. Now that they are playing like one of the worst teams in the league, I can't change my prediction. Now, again, I've talked about Mike Zimmer and how he embraces the underdog mentality. No one believes in us. And then finally the team starts to play well. So I actually wouldn't even be surprised if the Vikings pull off the upset. But I think we're in for a long game because the Titans they're just really, really good at all phases. Again, the D-line, the pass rush for the Titans, not all that great. But with Vic Beasley back into the mix, it's going to be a lot better. So let me know. I got the Vikings losing this game. We'll go 31-14. Let me know your comments or let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. We do this 3 times a week. Mediocre Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy, Facebook at realistic Randy. We'll see you next time.